What's up, Keshia? Let's break it down. So first thing is you're going to see when I bring this up. Well, notice when I set up, my hips are high, I pull tight, and that's not a great position, but I'm going to the hang. I come all the way to the top, and then I lower to the top of the knee. And the reason is we want to build that tension. So when you just kind of come up here, and you're just kind of hanging around. There's no tension there. Like you might be bracing your belly a little bit, but we haven't built that tension in our backside. We're not feeling our hamstrings. We're not loading the hamstrings, and we want to do that. So that's the first thing is we want to make sure if we're coming from the hang, if we're pulling from the floor, to build that tension like we talked about, right? That zeroth pull, right? That first thing. So I want you to look at the positions here. So my shins are a little farther back. We want to get those knees back. We want to get those shoulders a little farther forward. Heads up, that looks good. Everything else looks all right. We just need to get a little bit farther over that bar. All right. So then we start pulling. So this isn't too bad. I really like what you're doing with your arms. Like this is the shrug. So what you did with this one is you kept your arms straight, and that's exactly what we want. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now the only thing that we would like to see in this finished position is to have a little bit of an arch. So come through and see mine. And see how there's a little bit more arch in that position, and we talked about this before. The head, that head should come back a little bit as well. All right, that one was actually not bad at all. Just a little more arch in that back. All right, so I'm loading. Again, same thing in that position. Knees back a little bit, shoulders a little farther over. His hips can be a little higher. Now we're going to go for so we see that arm starting to bend. Right there. That arm starts bending. I'm going to be a little more patient with that. And notice his arms are bending, but the hip is still closed. So it's going to start coming out. The bar's going to come out away from us because it would hit our body. It hit our torso if we did that. A nice high pull. You overpulled, I overpulled. We didn't quite need it that high, but just really strong. And here you get a little bit more of that arch, right? Because of the high pull. We're a little bit more arch. That head is up. So there's that arch that we're looking for. We're just bending a little bit early. So let's take a look at mine. So notice how my knees are shooting forward. I see, watch the knees. So this is where they're at right now, and then that knee shoots forward slightly, right? Shoots forward. My arms are straight. My torso, the shoulders are behind the bar. My torso is vertical. And then I high pull. And again, notice the arch. You did that time, so that's pretty good. Come back down. All right, last one. Same thing in that bottom position. Shoulders a little farther forward, hips a little higher. So this one you can see the bar coming off of you. You see the arms slightly bent. We want to get the shoulders behind the bar. Our torso needs to move, and your torso never moves. We need the hips to open. They're still closed. And then you get straight up. Notice that extension. You're straight up and down, right? We want that arch position. Catch. I like how your feet are leaving the ground. You're catching it. Your overhead position looks pretty good. Overhead, like it's over your center mass. We could work on the hands a little bit. I'll show you mine. So those hands, a lot of that weight is going to be sitting on your thumb instead of your palm, instead of loaded on your wrist. So we'll I'll show you that in a second. You can see it on both sides. Not too bad. The knees can come out a little bit in that catch, like in that catch. Feet could be a little wider. You're just really, really narrow. All right. I load. I take my time. Shoulders over top of the bar. Straight arms. Straight arms. Look at my torso. It's opening, right? My torso is going back this way. Going back. Shoulders behind the bar. I think that's the big piece of why it feels weird, is because your torso isn't moving on the pull. Arms are still straight. Arms are still straight. My feet are still on the ground. See how my feet... Let me get one more. Yep. Back one. Back one. Move. There. My feet are still on the feet, but I'm in that arch position. My arms are straight. That's what we're looking for. Then we get to that full extension, a little bit of arm bending, slight arch, come underneath and catch. Notice how wide my feet are. Look at where my knees are tracking. They're out over my toes. And now check out my hands. Come on, zoom. Sorry. There we go. Check my hands. So see how the hands are like pulled back and the bar is sitting across my hand? Whereas if we come look at your hand, the wrist is straight with the hand, right? It's straight up and down, where mine kind of looks back. And then there's an angle there. It's pulled back. And that's what we're looking for. All right. Overall, I mean, the movement itself looks pretty good. We just got to build some comfort in it. A little wider stance in that catch, working on those hands. But the big thing is that opening and closing of the hip. We want the shoulders to come back, and we want to hit that arch position. I think those are the two things that we really want to do. All right. Not I think. Those are the two things that we really want to focus on. And getting tension, learning how to get tight, learning how to pull into tension and get tight. All right, Keshia, I hope this helps. Cheers.